things which we need to talk about, because there are things which concern the future, which you and me have a place in. And that's why it gives me great pleasure to share this platform with you. But ladies and gentlemen, I equally want to appreciate you so much, because looking at history, whatever we used to record as a region in terms of education cannot be compared in any way with where we are today. And I'm sure as a region, we have improved in terms of enrollment in the universities because of the effort of you, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why I equally want to stand here to appreciate you for the immense work that you are doing for the young people of Kilifi in your various staff rooms, classrooms, as you teach them whatever you are bestowed with. I stand here to appreciate you once again for being together, for being more united over and above the challenges that you face. I'm so perturbed, ladies and gentlemen, that when we stand here today, we still talk about 25 years into the 21st century. The university students from poor marginalized places of Kilifi, who after you try so much to teach them, and after they get quality grades, they only go to the universities, report, come back, cry in your doorsteps every day, simply because of this funding model in this country. And some of the challenges affecting university students today, some of the challenges affecting you teachers today, are challenges which arise from lack of public participation in terms of the government framework policies. And that is something we cannot run away from talking about. There has been an outright lack of public participation. My good comrade Opolo Kopolo was talking about the housing levy, was talking about other deductions from the pay slips of teachers. And why it is so? It is because teachers are not consulted. There are no public participation of some of these issues. And that is something which we really stand to demand, because it is a constitutional requirement that there must be public participation, especially on something which comes direct to your account. You deserve to have a voice of your pay slip. And that's why this platform serves a great purpose today. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm only a senior comrade, but I have my senior too. I do not wish to barrage you. I do not wish to barrage you with a lot of my parties of wisdom, because we have mi nataka nimwambie huyu DJ, nataka nimwambie huyu fundi wa mitambo, fundi wa mitambo, sasa fundi wa mitambo, acha haya mateso, mimi ndio wa mwisho kuyapitia, kwa sababu baada ya hapa atakuja mbunge na atakuja senior comrade mbunge pia. Isizime tena hii tafadhali, izimeni wakati wangu tu, lakini pia it's a matter of time. Mimi bwana na appreciate sana walimu, endeleeni kushikana pamoja, na mimi nataka niwaombe, because comrade, if something you've learned something here, when these teachers ambao wako secondary school were presenting here, there were appreciation even from the GSS corners, lakini wakati wa GSS wakiongea hawa jamaa wengine hawataki kushangilia wenzao. Mimi I want to appeal to you, dear teachers. The forces that join us together as comrades must always remain stronger than any superimposed influence that threat to keep us apart. Whether you are a junior secondary school teacher, whether you are a high school teacher, a senior secondary school teacher, bottom line is you are a teacher in the teaching profession, and you deserve to speak one voice, because what kills the other has the potential to finish the rest. I hope and pray that you will find it within you to please embrace the wisdom of working together, so that some of these challenges can be easy to deal with. Ladies and gentlemen, I also appear here on behalf of His Excellency the Governor Gideon Mung'aro, the second governor of this great county, who was unable to appear here, but my presence equally signifies the presence of His Excellency the Governor, because equally of the same honor, counted some decades I will equally have the potential to stand here, this time not to represent someone, but represent myself. Then na wewe comrade, wewe ni comrade mwenzangu, wewe unafahamu kwamba mimi na wewe huwa tunakaa sana huko Laikipia Gardens, huko karibu na Kileleshwa. Mimi na wewe tunakaa tukipanga maneno ya kesho ya Kenya. Na wewe, you always remind me that you and me and any student leader in this country are products of the jungle, and we must not be like an animal, because it is only an animal which does not have an ambition. It is only an animal which does not have an ambition. I appreciate that you have an ambition, and as a comrade I'm here praying for you, and so that your ambition can come to fruition. Wajua pia umeteseka, umefukuzwa university mara nyingi. Mimi nimefukuzwa mara mbili kali, lakini yako ni ya kwenda urudi, uenda kabisa urudi hivyo hivyo. Mara umeonekana na vice chancellor unamwambia kurudishe, kesho umepewa memo ya kurudi. Sasa mimi comrade na kuombea kwamba ile experience ambayo umepitia na kutetea wananchi na students itusaidie pia siku moja tuweze kusimama. Mungu atatulipa kwa yale ambayo tumekuwa tukiyang'ang'ania. Mimi sitaki kuongea mengi zaidi hapo. Baada ya kumwakilisha mheshimiwa governor, nataka nichukue fursa hii kwa heshima na taadhima niwaombe sote tusimame tumkaribishe mheshimiwa Amina Laura Munyazi, comrade, mbunge wa Malindi. Dada mrembo kabisa, huyu ni comrade mwenyewe. Ukisikia comrade ni huyu Mama Nadiko. Asante sana mama, karibu sana.
Asante sana ndugu yangu comrade Fikirini Jacobs. Walimu wote, naomba tuketi. Walimu wote wenye ambao mko hapa, itifaki zote zikizingatiwa. Mheshimiwa Dr. Babu Owino, na kukaribisha sana Malindi. Huyu ni dokta mara mbili, na nafikiria akisimama atajieleza ni kwa nini yeye anaitwa Dr. Babu Owino. Wananchi wa Malindi, wananchi wa Pwani, wale Waislamu, assalamu alaikum. Wale wa Kristo, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Walimu power. Hapana. Hata mimi nimefunga na niko na nguvu bwana. Walimu power. Comrades power. Hayo ndo ni maneno. Acha babu leo asikie sauti ya watu wa Malindi, sauti ya watu wa Pwani. Na mimi nataka nikushukuru ndugu yangu Kopolo, najua you have been on my neck. Where is he? I know you have been on my neck. Na hii event isingefanyika vizuri kama si msukumo wako. Na it was high time, and I'm really privileged to be here. I'm very happy to be here. Kwa sababu hapa nimekuja na watu wenye ambao mimi naenda kuwakilisha katika bunge la kitaifa. So kukuja kwangu leo mimi hapa, it is good for us kama wawakilishi wenu katika bunge la kitaifa, kwa sababu tumepata wakati wa kuja kusikia kutoka kwa kinywa chenu yale matatizo ambayo walimu wanapitia. So Kopolo alinipigia simu mara ya kwanza. Nafikiria hii mkutano ilikuwa ifanyike sometime late last year. Alikuwa anatafuta mgeni wa heshima na aka insist lazima iwe ni Babu Owino. Nikamwambia Kopolo, Babu Owino unajua yeye ni senior, mimi pale ni mono, lakini nitajaribu. Nyinyi walimu si mnajua huyu ni senior, mimi ni mono, sikatai, lakini nikasema na mono wangu nitajaribu. By last year Babu Owino hakuweza kufika. Nikamrudia Kopolo, akanambia mheshimiwa, kama Babu Owino hafiki Malindi hakuna mkutano utafanyika. Sasa kijana huyu silali usiku na mchana, karibu nifunjie ndoa yangu Kopolo, lakini ni sawa. Nikasema mwisho wacha nimsaidie huyu comrade ili wale walimu waweze kufurahika, kwa sababu yeye alitaka babu leo amefika ama hajafika? Muna raha. Na mimi ile siku babu nikasema sasa hawa walimu, I interact with them a lot. Wengi na watembelea katika mashule because of the nature of our work. Nikasema sasa nikishindwa kuleta babu, hata hao walimu wangu wa Malindi nitakuwa nimewabwaga sana. Na mimi hao walimu ni watu ambao nataka nifanye nao kazi kwa ukaribu zaidi. Na nikasema niko katika mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhani na nimefunga. Nikasema Mungu, mimi na swali, na hii swala nikimaliza nampigia Babu Owino simu. Nikaswali hapo, nikapiga madua yangu hapo haraka upesi, nikampigia babu, nikasema Mungu jalia mdomo wangu uwe mtamu. Naye aliposhika simu, haya panya kaingia kwenye mtego. Babu Owino karibu sana Malindi. Ameingia hapa kwenye mtego ama hajaingia? Si amefika Malindi? But you see, babu, this tells you something. Why is it that these teachers ambao wanatoka maeneo haya, mbona wewe Babu Owino, why you? Mbona hawakutaka mtu yoyote mwingine afike Malindi? So they've seen something in you, yenye ambao wao wako na imani kubwa na wewe. Na mimi si yule kiongozi ambaye niko na wivu. Palipo na sifa nitapaweka sifa yake. Hata leo nilikuwa namlalamikia babu, namwambia mimi ndio ni mbunge wa hapa, lakini paka bodyguard leo amenisahau, anafikiria namlinda Babu Owino. Ni sawa. Makofi hapa kushangiliwa. Mimi nimemtafuta babu kwa fujo, hamkunipigia makofi kama mlipompigia Babu Owino. Haya pia ni sawa. Ni sawa. Ni sawa. Lakini sisi hatuna wivu. Sisi ni watu ambao tunaelewa. Na kwa sababu yale mapenzi ambayo mnamuonesha babu, mimi pia kama comrade niko na furaha, na najua yale ambayo yamezungumzwa hapa, kwa sababu kule katika bunge la kitaifa ni mume nguvuze, na sina mbavu mimi Amina peke yangu za kutosha, lakini mbavu zangu na mbavu sababu tukizishikanisha, I am sure kuna mambo mengi ambayo tunaweza kwenda kubadilisha, ili walimu wetu waweze kufanya kazi mahali pazuri na wawe na environment nzuri ya kuweza kufanyia watu kazi. Haiwezekani tuwe tuko na pesa za NGCDF, tunalipia watoto basari, tunakwenda kujenga mijengo ya shule, and the teachers are not motivated.
If election comes, before I pass on, like retiring in the next 2.5 years or so, so that all Kenyans can cast votes, and each vote will, even if I lose, he loses, at least he will leave a good country that counts votes, and each vote. So, my fellow Kenyans, this is what I would ask for President Ruto to do for us, to have a new voter register, and to make sure that the next election, whoever gets elected will be elected by Kenyans by casting votes. So, Mama Gashi, in all this election that I have campaigned for Raila throughout the country in road shows and so on, including the Kikuyu lads, where sometimes we would be even beaten, but Mama Gashi was always there in those vehicles. So even in this last election, for her to become a senator, in fact, the Montet wrote me a letter saying, how wonderful are you, SK, you could have convinced Raila to appoint you senator, but instead you selected our daughter. Kibaki won, and we had data, complete data, that it's Raila who had won the election. I know some people will run away here, but let them run away, because we agreed with the Getahi. I'm speaking to the soul of Getahi. Here is only the body. And we had agreed whoever dies first will reveal this information for country. So that's why I'm doing it. Our data was showing Raila had won with 1.8 million votes. And I was picked from my house at night, and all the returning officers from Mount Kenya region were held somewhere, and their return forms taken. And I was taken to my office. I found some people, I'm not going to mention their names, and we changed all those figures, and Kibaki won the election against him. I'm not going to mention about 2013 election, which again was Uhuru, or 2012 to 2013. Again, I campaigned for Raila, and Royal Media had already started then, and Inoro TV and Citizen TV were switched off in the whole of Mount Kenya region, but that could not make me change my belief in Raila, because Raila was left to me by his father. Then we came to the election of 2022. 2017, before 2022. In the election of 2017, it was Raila against Uhuru and Ruto at that time, the current president. We learned that the register had been changed. You keep on pressing me, I won't stop. The register has been changed for voters. When you are registered a voter, you have your fingerprint, you have your photograph, and you have full names. That some names, they have taken some IDs from the death register, and they have the names, but they don't have a photograph. That's how Raila got beaten but remember, Malaga codified discrepancies and drew away the election. And Raila said he's not going to repeat the election with the IBC being not changed. So obviously it was Uhuru and Ruto. They won the second round, the repeat, easily. Then I want to mention, because all this is in our records, about the election of 2022. We went to Naivasha to plan for the election of Raila as a candidate. Again, remember, it is Uhuru against Raila, and I'm campaigning for Raila. And at Naivasha, I tried to explain that the register that is going to be used has fake voters, but Raila was so impatient, he stopped me from explaining. But these 4 commissioners that resigned in the end or were fired, they came to my house and I showed them how the register is not true. But that's how, obviously, again, and you remember Musando, that's how the votes have been put in. And now I come to 2023, 2022 election, whereby I tried to convince Raila that the voter register that is going to be used is not proper, and they should give it to us, even if we are going to be his agents and organize the agents. He didn't think so, and because of the handshake with the Uhuru, he thought it is a free flow. Just for jokes, 2022 election comes. It's Raila against Ruto. They were saying we have deep states, and Ruto would tell them which deep states you have, because Ruto knew exactly how the extra votes will be put it doesn't matter. You know, I'm 82 years. If I get kidnapped or hijacked, 84. It doesn't matter. Kano has gone, and he was younger than me. So we must just tell this, because I want to tell President Ruto, and it's good that Raila is here, if he wants to leave this country, good, because he's the president, and we cannot do anything, yeah? Whether he won the election or he didn't win, he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But the only thing that can help us is to make sure that a new register of voters is created. If election comes before I pass on, like retiring in the next 2.5 years or so, so that all Kenyans can cast votes, and each vote will, even if he loses, at least he will leave a good country that counts votes, and each vote. So, my fellow Kenyans, this is what I would ask for President Ruto to do for us, to have a new voter register, and to make sure that the next election, whoever gets elected will be elected by Kenyans by casting votes. So, Mama Gashi, in all this election that I have campaigned for Raila throughout the country in road shows and so on, including the Kikuyu lads, where sometimes we would be even beaten, but Mama Gashi was always there in those vehicles. So even in this last election, for her to become a senator, in fact, the Montet wrote me a letter saying, how wonderful are you, SK? You could have convinced Raila to appoint you senator, but instead you selected our daughter to become senator. So that's how Betty became a senator. So life has been all this time that we, Muranga group, we always used to go there during Christmas as families. Yeah. And we would stay there before Christmas Day until New Year's Day. And we would get enough goats from the auction in Balingo and we will get all of them enough to eat. There is somebody who calls all these ladies my wives. He's still there. He's there. Linus Getai, former managing director of Nation newspaper. Anytime I get invited anywhere, he says, and you go with your wives. They are all called my wives. What is Waja? Waja, her husband died this year. 208. And because she's part of this family, we have never stopped. He was the computer manager. In fact, I remember when we changed the votes for Raila. He called the managing director, Washira, because he was in the control room, and said the chairman is with some people in the office, and he is giving us figures to change. And what should we do? And Washira said, if he's the chairman, then there is nothing you can do about it. You obey. You can keep on hitting me, but it's better to tell the truth. I told you my age. So Muranga group, Getahi always, anytime he found a chance, he would come to Muranga from you people. I heard you speak here. He would come to Muranga and he would enjoy him because he was always close and he was on call all the time. So, you know, I can even tell you as a last thing to say that Royal Media was started because of Raila's father. I was paying for all the commercials in KBC for Raila's father with against Matiba. But the commercials for Odinga will not be shown, and it's me who has paid. After the election and Moi came back, I went to the managing director of KBC and I told him to return my money. And he said, no, we don't return money for commercials that did not air. I said, no. You have to either return him the money or you give me a license to go and set up my own radio and television so that nobody else will ever do this to me again. And for him to kick me out of the office, he told me go and write to the office of the president. And I got a reply. I did that. I got a reply, one line, that you cannot be allowed to broadcast private radio and television. Then I went to court, and after 4 years, I got a court order that I can actually be issued with a license by Date Macau and Wako, who was the AG then. And when they refused to issue the license, I went back to court to put them to jail for contempt. And in the end, they went to speak to President Moi. And Moi said after they were told they are going to jail, Moi told me, I was called to State House and I was told, why do you want to take my ministers to jail? I said, because they have been told to give me a license to broadcast private radio and television, and they have refused. He asked me whether I would join KANU. I was in ODM at that time, and I said yes. Are you going to support me in the election? I said yes. When I went home, then Macau was told to go and give me a license. So we drove from State House, and nobody has ever been given a broadcasting license. We asked ourselves, how do you light it? I told him, give me a piece of paper. I wrote, I refer to your application, dated this and this. This letter constitutes the only license you require to broadcast private radio and television. He typed the letter, and his secretary typed the letter. The PS called Adele was called. He signed the letter. That's how Royal Media started.
Can I say something?
Yeah.